Hi, this is Mrs. Freeman. Today we're going to talk about composition of functions. And composition is when you take two functions and nest them together to make a new function. And there's two different ways that you can show that you're using composition. So the first one is this f and then parentheses g of x. And you read this f of g of x. That's how that's read. F of g of x. Or you can write it this way with this little circle here and between the F and the G. Kind of looks like the word fog because it looks like an O, but it's just a little circle. And that also is showing composition. And once again, you read that F of G of X. So for composition problems, we have 3 steps. So our first step says that we're going to work your way out. The second step says to evaluate the inside function first. And step 3 says plug that answer into the outside function. So you're going to start and work your way towards the outside. So let's try an example. So the first example, we have g of x equals x cubed minus 1 and h of x equals negative 2x minus 5. So we're going to find g of h of 3. So we're going to start with our number, which is 3. And notice right in front of the 3 is an h. So we're going to start by evaluating h of 3. So our h function is negative 2x minus 5. And we're going to fill in 3 for the x. So negative 2 times 3 minus 5. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6 minus 5, which gives us negative 11. So that's our answer for h of 3. So we'll mark that out. That's what we just evaluated. But now notice we still have this g left over. So that means this negative 11 we're going to plug into the g function, which would be this x cubed minus 1. Okay, so one more time we're plugging in negative 11 there. So negative 11 cubed minus 1. So we're going to have negative 1,331 minus 1, which gives us negative 1,332, and that's our final answer. Okay, let's try another example. So example 2, we have h of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x, and g of x equals 2x plus 3. So we have find h of g of 2. Now remember, this is just a different notation, so this notation here is the same thing as if you had the parenthesis. So these mean the exact same thing. So you're going to start with the number, which is 2, and right beside it you have a g. So that means we're going to start with g of 2. So our g function is 2x plus 3. We're going to plug 2 in where the x is. So 2 times 2 plus 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So that's our g of 2, so I'm going to mark that out. That's our answer to g of 2. And then we still have this h left over. So that means we're going to take this 7 and plug it into the h function. So our h function is negative 3x squared minus 2x. One more time, we're plugging that 7 in where the x is. So negative 3 times 7 squared minus 2 times 7. Order operations, so we're going to do this exponent first. So negative 3 times 49 minus 2 times 7. And then we're going to multiply. So we're going to say 3, or negative 3 rather, times 49 is negative 147. And negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Then we're going to say negative 147 minus 14 is negative 161. This is your final answer. Okay, so why don't you pause the video, try this one on your own, then come back and watch it to make sure you have the correct answer. So we have f of x equals 2x minus 4 and g of x equals x plus 3. So we have f of g of negative 9. So we'll start with the negative 9, and right in front of the negative 9 is g. So we're going to start with g of negative 9. So our g function is x plus 3. And we're plugging negative 9 in for x. So negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6. So that gets rid of g of negative 9. That's our evaluating there. Then we still have this f left over. So that means we're going to plug this negative 6 into the f function. So our f function is 2x minus 4. So fill negative 6 in for the x. So 2 times negative 6 minus 4. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Minus 4 is negative 16. And that's your final answer. So the last example, we have f of n equals negative 3n plus 2 and g of n equals 4n plus 2. So find f of g of 9. So same thing, why don't you pause the video, try this one on your own. When you finish it, come back and play it to make sure you have the correct answer. So once again, this notation is the same as f of g of 9. So these are just two different notations that you can use, but they mean the same thing. So we're going to start with the 9, and right in front of it we have g. So we're going to start with g of 9, so our g function is 4n plus 2, and we're going to fill in 9 where the n is. So 4 times 9 plus 2, and 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 is 38. So that's our g of 9, so I'm going to mark that out. But we still have this f left, so that means we're going to take 38 and plug it into the f function. So our f function is negative 3n plus 2. So we're plugging 38 in for n. So negative 3 times 38 plus 2. So we're going to say negative 3 times 38 is negative 114 plus 2. And negative 114 plus 2 is negative 112. And this is our final answer.